Today we're talking about the origin of furries. Furries are people with an intense, oftentimes sexual fixation on anthropomorphic animals. Animals given human traits, like walking upright, talking, and showing human emotion.
Their community has an extremely heavy cross-section diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. They're notorious for spending thousands of dollars on their hobby, and they also bear absolutely no resemblance to any other community you might think of. Absolutely none. Now, over the years, we here at Flashkits have taken a few jabs at the furry community.
I'm not a furry!
But beyond having a basic working knowledge of their fandom, we've never really explored their deep history.
Even lore, you might say. So join us today as we read a script our producer prepared for us and learn where furries actually came from and whether their negative reputation is actually deserved.
This video is sponsored by Balesa and their vegetable cleaning toys. That's right, our friends at Balesa are sending out free toys or gift cards to everyone who signs up to our giveaway. Like the Ultra Blow, perfect for cleaning a cucumber, perhaps. It thrusts and rotates at the same time, which blows the dirt away. Jesus Christ, it has 8 speeds. Or the Halo 2. Finish the fight on filth with this amazing waterproof and rechargeable vegetable ring. Wrap it around the vegetable and use its 5 vibration speeds to shake off even the most stubborn of filth. Perfect for couples who like to clean together. It actually increases stamina for the user. And let's not forget the Power Pump, which boosts size, sensation, and confidence. It has 3 powerful suction modes to enhance your erect. Easy to use controls give you full command over the intensity, so you can tailor it to your household goals. I'll say it again. Our friends at Balesa are sending out free toys or gift cards to everyone who signs up to our giveaway. Link in the description.
It all started about 40,000 years ago. Mythological and early pop culture precursors.
Humanity's first piece of furry art can be traced back to around 35,000 BC, before the concept of sin was invented. The Lion Man of Hohenstein-Städel, a figurine with a human body and lion's head carved from mammoth ivory, is one of the earliest known artworks of a human-animal hybrid, sort of like the furry version of the Venus of Willendorf. Ancient mythologies worldwide, from Egyptian gods to Greek legends, featured animal-headed deities and talking creatures, planting early seeds of fascination with human-like animals. They weren't furries, dude.
That's just having an imagination.
Maybe we'll be able to identify the line when it stops being cool.
That's when we know that furrydom started, because it stopped being cool.
We reject all of this stuff as actual furry history. This is just cool.
What if by the end of the video we're fully bought into furriness?
It's not getting posted.
This carried into medieval folklore with tales like Reynard the Fox and its cunning fox protagonist.
Why is this cool and current stuff isn't cool?
Probably because of the wind in the willows. I don't know, it sparks the imagination. And that guy's got fucking like sick medieval like tunic, he's got a little medieval flag, a mammoth skull in his hand.
He has a gross fox head.
Right, they're not trying to like sexualize him.
Make it cute.
He's just a fucking fox.
Yeah.
Who's also, I guess, planted a flag in a piece of dirt and is making the other animals bow before him. That's kind of fucking sick.
Well, this is all cool so
This
far.
is still cool.
He's not part of your canon.
By the 19th and early 20th centuries, classics like Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and The Wind in the Willows continue the tradition of talking emotive animals. That's not furry shit, dude. That's incredible Albion history and culture.
But maybe it is the roots that caused furriness. You know what I mean? So you grew up with Wind in the Willows, and you're like, this is sick.
Yeah, it's got a, look at that. It's got a little badger, it's got a little frog, they're friends.
Yeah, I grew up with the Brian Jacques books, but that was really cool and not furry at all.
This stuff reminds me of my grandma. Quintessential old school English stories and culture. And my grandma remembers the partition of India. She was there, so that's how deep that goes. Here's what I think grosses most people out about furriness. And let me do another disclaimer, although when I did disclaimer on the Crusades video, it didn't get received as well as one would hope. Aside from the edge cases of bestiality and pedophilia, who gives a fuck that much if furries want to like dress up and go to their parties. Who cares?
Don't say that, Tom.
I mean, fuck those degenerate freaks. As long as it's just like that and, you know, they stay away from my future offspring and don't influence them into their dark, devious ways. Which editor's editing this video?
The furry one.
Yeah, we found a furry editor for this video. But what grosses people out about it? The total amount of buy-in, right? So similarly, if you took like Warhammer and you had people dressing up as Space Marines
Sick.
so far, but they like almost truly believed it. Imagine like the guy who usually talks like this, keeps going deep and he talks like this and I'm a Space Marine. You're like, ah, that's funny. And he's like, I'm the Emperor's chosen.
What's funny?
Yeah, it gets kind of fucking gay, doesn't it? And then what if they started like f***ing children? This is just like anthropomorphized animals. It's clearly a story. Our soul and spirituality and mental place of existence is not in the characters.
Okay, but if all these characters were drawn like contemporary furry art, it would gross me out.
But that's why art style is important, because this feels classical to us.
The current style is all attached to the current goings-ons, like getting in a little trouble, wearing a fursuit.
And I know what the furries are saying. They're like, that's just a tiny subset. We don't all do that. I don't believe you. Animation. The dawn of animation really kicked furry interest into overdrive. Early animated films and TV were undeniably the biggest influence for furries, with the first notable example happening over in the East.
In 1965, renowned furry artist Osamu Tezuka, creator of Astro Boy, released Kimba the White Lion, an anime about an anthropomorphic animal kingdom. Think of weeb versions of Lion King. And this was 1965.
No way.
Definitely see
Of course it was the Japanese.
You can definitely see the precursor, like the aesthetic similarities.
Yeah, that little white lion looks like a furry head. The stupid like scar on the left, that's definitely the edgy furry vibe, you know. Of course it was fucking Japan too. Like, why did we even need to do this video?
We made that joke.
There is no stopping us, so long as there are outcasts or Asians.
We really are bottom-feeding parasites, aren't we?
After his death in 1989, a stash of self-drawn mouse porn was found in his desk.
He's like, sure hope this doesn't reach the light of day.
That is so funny. Is that
Immediately
real?
rifling through his mouse porn stash in his desk drawer. Look at the arch in the back of that mouse. What a fucking freak, dude. What a horny little freak.
And this guy created the style.
That makes so much. Okay, we found the start. It was 1965.
So this is the actual beginning of what can be put in that bucket, and the rest is precursor. And
The rest is just like regular humans being normal, healthy individuals, seeing something cool like an animal and thinking like, oh cool, what if a human had an animal head? This is fucked up.
This is so funny. It's so fucking funny that this is real.
And it's mice. Look at her, she's fucking proper like...
Sexy in it.
That is diabolical. What happened to the oh yeah. What caused him to become such a, you know, perverted force of nature? The thing is too, is he knew to be ashamed of it. He hid it in his desk. It's only because people rifled through it afterwards.
To draw your own porn, just baseline is hilarious, but to draw your own porn that like has never existed before, you know, like a whole new thing.
Not only that, but mice. Mice. You can say like, oh, okay, some animals are more like either humanoid or more like slender or sleek. You can almost see where the perverse mind comes from. They're like, oh, that's like a very elegant animal. A fucking mouse. I don't get it in any sense. His influences included his parents, okay.
And Disney, of course, Bambi.
Bambi! Bambi!
Twitter pated, bro.
Dude, Bambi had that whorish rabbit.
Yeah, Twitter pated.
Is that her name?
No, all the animals were Twitter pated in Bambi.
What the fuck is Twitter pated?
It's during the springtime when they all want to fuck.
Dude, typing in whorish rabbit worked. Miss Bunny. Look at this.
Now, is that furry?
It's it inspired it at the very least.
We're calling this poor guy that jerks off to his own mouse porn. He's crossed the line. Did Walt Disney cross the line?
Yes, they crossed the line. Yes, they crossed the line. When I was a kid, I remember seeing that rabbit do the fuck me eyes and being like, oh bye. Please delete that.
Well, then you crushed that feeling into powder for 10 years.
Then I crushed it deep down, and it's never gonna make another appearance again. No matter how many of these mouse drawings I look at. This is 100% crossing the line.
Alright, so really it's Disney's fault.
Fuck yeah, it's Disney's fault.
Disney corrupted this poor Japanese guy, and now we have furry porn.
You know what? We learned a valuable lesson about racism today. It's not always the suspects you think it is, okay? This time it was America's fault.
Anyways, his stash of mouse porn cemented him as one of the modern history's earliest furries.
Almost a decade later, in 1973, Disney's Robin Hood reimagined the outlaw and friends as charming talking animals, often cited as a childhood spark for furry interest, meaning they beat off to it in their teens, and judging by the 4,000 Rule 34 submissions, they haven't stopped.
4,000?
Let me tell you, Don, I always thought Maid Miriam was a total fox.
I really liked Robin Hood. It's one of my
You
favorites.
would, you little do-gooder.
Aesthetically, it is very similar to furry, but I would not call these characters furries. I actually think that there's something wholly wholesome and unsexual about this. This is an iteration of the art style that predated all of the furry use cases, so it feels unfair to go back and say, oh, that's furry art.
Also, look at Maid Miriam. That is a modest woman.
That's a modest, God-fearing, good woman.
She's covered up. You know, she's wearing the correct regalia and garb. I think this was trying to teach kids something important.
But they didn't take the right lessons from it. Is that Robin Hood's fault? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna classify this as not furry.
Not furry, but it looks a lot like furry, because furries are plagiarists.
Once Japanese and Western pop culture both embraced anthropomorphic animals, the groundwork was set, the seed was planted, and the harvest got weird. Formation of the furry fandom. The modern furry fandom emerged in the late 1970s from sci-fi and comic book circles.
In 1976, cartoonists Ken Fletcher and Reed Waller launched Voodie, a fanzine for funny animal comics. Funny animal comics.
Really funny.
Guys, these are really funny.
See, there's a cat girl with a very sheer dress on.
Jesus Christ. These comics included adult themes like Waller's Omaha the Cat Dancer.
So this was America again.
Yes.
You like to pretend you're these like cultural warriors of chastity. Look at this.
No, I mean, furries are definitely our fault. This stuff didn't come from England.
You damn right it didn't.
Voodie's contributors and readers formed a small network and began meeting up at general sci-fi and Comic-Con.
This goes so deep.
And comic conventions. Furry historian Fred Patton.
That's not a real job. Can we get him on Big Brain?
Oh, that'd be sick. Furry historian Fred Patton notes a pivotal 1980 sci-fi convention discussion, sparked by the art in Steve Galacci's Albedo Anthropomorphics. This led to regular fan gatherings focused on anthropomorphic animal characters in sci-fi and fantasy.
Do you know what? People say, like, slippery slopes aren't real. Go and look at that fucking cat girl. It started with a naked woman, or an almost naked woman, and they gave her a tail and some little ears. You think, oh, that's silly. Now, after boiling the frog for 50 years, we get what we have. So I don't want to hear anyone ever say that slippery slope argument is a fallacy, because it's absolutely not.
Which is worse, do you think? Making a syndicated comic about a sexualized cat stripper, or drawing and jerking off to your own mouse porn in secret?
This one, because this one you're distributing to the masses. The other guy had a healthy amount of shame. In the privacy of our own homes, when the doors are shut and the VPN's on, we all probably do some weird shit. But this guy fucking took it public, and that's wrong. That's wrong, and you know it. This is really, you're starting to really get the DNA of you're starting, down to like the bad artistry.
You're starting to see it, yeah. All the main tropes coming through.
The weird thing about furries is they're either the absolute worst fucking artists you've ever seen, or the absolute best, most incredible fucking artists you've ever seen, and you're like, why are you wasting your extraordinary talents on the mum from Lion King 2 plowing Timon and Pumbaa?
Angels corrupted by the bag. Oh, I could make a quick buck commissioning, you know?
That's what you'd like to think, right?
And then you just
get a good, wholesome capitalist reason.
They just got dragged into hell. They got in too deep.
We've certainly flirted with getting in too deep. Luckily, our autism for Warhammer has always outweighed our autism for tons of money. By the late 1980s, fans started hosting room parties at bigger cons, After run-ins with furry haters at Bacon, it did not take long for the haters to show up. Instantly.
What year was this?
This was back when you could stuff people in lockers as well. Someone wore like glasses and people were like, what a fucking loot, like stuff them in the locker. Imagine being a furry during this time.
They don't even have costumes yet.
You can't say these people aren't like brave.
Yeah, they're probably just wearing like little construction paper ears. To the comic convention.
In 1980, that's mad.
With comic nerds.
They're still just jocks crashing these conventions.
You're not here for Superman? You kidding me?
After run-ins with furry haters at Bacon, they decided to start their own safe space. In 1989, the first official furry convention, called Conference Zero in California, drew 65 attendees. A small but solid start for a dedicated furry convention. This became the first dedicated furry convention, sparking an era of annual gatherings.
By the 90s, multiple furry cons had popped up across the US. Anthrocon started in 97, and by the late 2000s was pulling thousands, paving the way for today's record breaker, Midwest Fur Fest, which hit over 11,000 attendees in 2019, making furry gatherings as large as some mainstream anime or comic conventions.
11,000, that feels like small. I would have thought there were more than that.
Me too. It is still bizarre that this went from nothing to something in the 90s.
I mean, it's the same thing as always, right? At the birth of the internet, you start being able to rack up the numbers of conventions. Because people used to be isolated in like their small communities in towns, and you wouldn't be able to find like a community of like-minded furries and or Warhammer fans.
So then you just
to
let
like
it go.
build, yeah.
You let it go.
But then as soon as you get the internet, now like if you want to talk in depth about Lucius the Eternal, you absolutely can. And you can get sucked deeper and deeper into madness. The early internet supercharged furry fandom. The Usenet news group alt.fan.furry, affectionately known as AF, was created in November 1990 and became the central online forum for furries in that era. Fans around the world could now discuss anthropomorphic art, share stories, and debate topics 24/7 in a public digital space. It was the fucking internet, because of course it was.
And they all found each other.
How do you feel about the internet, considering it literally destroyed everything and ruined everyone's lives, but without it, we're not making cartoons about super soldier spacemen?
It also continues to ruin everything.
And we're part of the problem.
Yeah, but I want to make cartoons about spacemen.
Touché.
So, around the same time, text-based virtual worlds called MUCKS, Mucks, especially Furry Muck, let users roleplay as their animal characters in an online environment.
This is what I was saying earlier. It's the roleplay element that grosses you out. And I know furries know that it's not real life, but I feel like they sometimes never drop the fucking persona. Fursona. I think that's the problem people have.
Yeah, I think it's about ratios of how you spend your time. You go on VR chat rooms, it's just furries. In the context of that world, you just are that character. People literally spend all of their time there versus in the real world being a human. Would it gross you out as much though you had a cool Space Marine model and you were VRing as a Space Marine?
Can I be a back temper?
Yeah, with your battle brothers and go kill orcs.
I can go kill orcs, my battle brothers?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool. What happens once you leave that space? Are you a regular person or are you fucking obsessed with being like battle brother Azrael? And how much fucking are you doing with your battle brothers? Those three criteria determine how I feel about this, you know? It's just a roleplay server.
Oh, so it's kind of like a forum?
Yeah. Do you remember when we did the regular Marine webcomic and the fucking assholes in the comments started roleplaying as characters?
And I didn't like them, I hated them.
Right? Well, they might still be watching, Don.
I hated them. Oh sweet, this issue of regular Marine got 50,000 hits, I wonder why. And it's people refreshing.
So they can roleplay.
And see the next thing that said, oh, the web service cost $2,000 this month. I wonder why.
We were just like 17 years old, like, oh, heck.
But before we get it twisted, that's not why we stopped the comic. I think we put a stop to the role-playing before that.
That went down well.
Even the first webcomic on the internet, as far as we can tell, was a furry webcomic called The Fox, which appeared in 1986 on CompuServe, before most people even knew what a website was. Which proves furries were early adopters of ruining things.
It's just like porn, bro. You know, you can say what you like about these people, but they're driving innovation. Just the human libido is incredible. The 90s also saw furry slang emerge, including yiff and the creation of personal animal personas, or fursonas, which became a defining feature of the fandom. By the end of the 90s, fans had started adopting unique furry names and identities in online spaces, a shift from the real name basis of the 80s fandom.
Do you think the original fans of the 80s are disgusted by the 90s fans? It's like, oh, you guys are pretending to actually be furries now?
No, I think they're supportive. I can't imagine, and no relation, it's just where my mind went, the older generation of gay people would be like gatekeepers of what the next generation of gay people are doing. You know what I mean?
I think they are. Actually,
Really?
that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, there's schisms and...
We're so fucking in lockstep, it's disgusting. Both our brains are like, wonder what gay people
What
think
about
about
gays?
this. What about the gays?
No, like, the same with feminism, like the older school activists.
Oh, we're hitting all the topics today.
The older school activists and the things they fought for, that was like their line. And once they got it, we're like, we're good. And then, you know, the later generations pushing for further things is like, guys, calm down.
How do you possibly know that?
Just do some reading on the internet. I read an article now and then.
2000s, fursuit culture and online communities.
Fursuits, the mascot-style costumes of furry characters, became an iconic element of the fandom as it grew. While homemade animal costumes had appeared at fan gatherings as early as the 1980s, the craft truly took off in the 2000s. Fursuits evolved from relatively simple outfits into elaborate creations with moving jaws, animatronic parts, and intricate prosthetics.
Oh my days. Wowie woo woo. God damn, look at her fucking jugs, bro.
It's probably not a her.
Oh. Look at his jugs, bro.
There are a lot of funny videos where guys go to furry conventions and film someone like that. They're like, hey, I like your tit. And then it's like, thanks.
Thanks. Thanks, dude. Custom suits could cost from $500 to over $10,000, yet surveys show about 80% of furries don't own a full suit, instead opting for partials like ears, tails, paws, lipstick penises. However, convention attendees show higher participation, where 45% show up in costume. Surely most don't go full hog because that shit's expensive as fuck.
A lot to.
Can we try and get into the mind of being a furry and like unpack the excitement of going to a convention of furries? Doesn't that sound like, if you're a furry, kind of fucking sick?
Yeah, because you're out here in the real world isolated, and then you can go to a convention and just be surrounded.
It's like a big play date.
Yeah.
You can all fucking, just too low hanging fruit. Yeah, I mean, it must be sick. You dress up, you're the belle of the ball. You've got the sickest, most pristine, like white fursuit.
Yeah, and I think there's literally notorious characters online.
There's probably like celebrities at the furventions.
He's here. And then they all often, allegedly, literally have like big furry orgies in the hotels, because a lot of these cons take place in a mega hotel. And then afterward, there's like blogging write-ups about who gave who AIDS.
That's kind of fucking sick. Do the fursuits have like special openings, or do they have to kind of just keep the head on?
They'd like kind of have to if you're into that kind of thing, right?
I don't know.
Or maybe you get alternate version of the pants so you can save face. I don't have the weirdo hatch.
Oh, let me just slip into something more comfortable.
Yeah, but you packed it.
Yeah, you guys come back out and you've got the fucking like labia edition.
It's a multiple night con, you know?
Yeah.
You have luggage.
Yeah, you probably go back to your hotel room and fucking change into your evening attire. Little fucking cum hatch. All I'm saying is, if you're a furry, this does sound kind of sick.
It is funny to imagine them fucking though, where they're in the costume and the pants are just pulled down.
Yeah, just round the ankles still, just standing there like getting like a weird blowy from a giant fucking animal head. Sick. All right. The 2000s saw an explosion of online furry art communities. As older forums waned, furries migrated to dedicated art sharing sites like Fur Nation, Yerf, and VCL. Many of these early sites were run by fans and had limited bandwidth, leading to periodic outages and closures. But that all changed in 2005 when a new site called Fur Affinity was created.
It quickly became the largest online furry art community, especially after other art sites like Sheezy Art changed their policies in a way that was unfriendly to furries, as they say. They banned adult content. So Fur Affinity's forums and galleries became a central hub where, even today, thousands of artists and fans can goon together in perfect harmony.
Truly delightful.
Furry content also gained a foothold on mainstream platforms during the 2000s versus Fur Affinity. In a notable acknowledgement, DeviantArt added an official anthropomorphic category in 2006 for its millions of users, reflecting how much furry art was being submitted. I don't know if that was so much an acknowledgement as a moderation move.
It's containment.
Yeah, if you have a website called DeviantArt for, you know, artists to submit their digital art, and it is just wall-to-wall bad furry art.
They did shoot themselves in the foot calling it deviant art. What the fuck did they expect was gonna happen?
Furries were early adopters of virtual worlds and video sharing as well. A large furry user base formed on Second Life, the 3D virtual world launched in 2003, where fans created animal avatars and even ran in-world furry nightclubs. This is what I'm talking about. It's with the VR today, you know. That was exactly what Second Life was, except there were no VR headsets yet.
Furries also took to YouTube. Starting around 2005, many fursuiters began posting their own videos, subjecting the rest of the population to their gay performances. Our producer wrote this. We're innocent. Flash Kids innocent. 2025 innocent. By commandeering these new platforms, the fandom reached beyond its own websites and became more visible to the general internet populace.
Stereotypes, controversies, and public perception.
Ooh.
As the fandom grew, it grappled with unfair stereotypes and sensational media coverage, especially in the late 90s and early 2000s. Unfair how? Huh?
Yeah, dude. Get him done.
Who's ever been unfair to the furries?
Yeah, who?
Mainstream media often unfairly fixated on the most salacious or sexual aspects. We haven't gotten to this in the script. There literally are dozens of prolific pedophiles and zoophiles.
Let me play devil's advocate. Dozens out of a community of trillions?
There are trillions. There's also trillions of Warhammer 40k fans. Where are the zoophiles in the Warhammer 40k community?
Ah, touché.
Or the pedophiles in the Warhammer 40k is better. That's all I'm saying.
I realise we are far closer to these madmen than one would want to admit. Just the absolute preoccupation and constant thought of the one fucking topic that we liked. God damn.
What should we make videos about on this channel? I don't like anything.
What do you like?
Let's make a list of things we like.
Fair point, there are no zoophiles or pedophiles in the Warhammer community, probably. For example, a 2001 Vanity Fair article and the infamous 2003 CSI episode, Fur and Loathing, both portrayed furries as solely focused on fetishistic costuming and sexual kinks.
Hell yeah, dude.
These depictions created a public perception that furries were all about weird sex in fursuits.
Are you not?
Caricature the community is never quite shaken off. Maybe it's because of all the orgies and the pornography.
Yeah, there's so much furry porn. There's so much. I remember I was in a class when I was in college, and it was like a small class in my major. There was like a dozen people in it, and there was a kid in the front row on his laptop just browsing furry porn.
That's a good point, right? Because not to bang the same old drum for eternity until we fucking turn to dusk, but how much Warhammer porn is there? Not that much. And it is a way bigger, like, property than furries, right? Difficult to give an exact number, but estimates suggest that there are between 1.4 and 2.8 million furries worldwide. The Warhammer 40k subreddit has over 1 million participants. Dude, if just the subreddit has 1 million participants, there's gotta be way more Warhammer fans. Not that our cartoon has anything to do with Warhammer whatsoever, but if there's 10 million viewers of Space King Episode 1, then surely a bigger franchise like Warhammer has way more fans.
How many furries worldwide?
1.4 to 2.8 million.
That is not many people, relatively speaking.
Compared to the amount of porn they output. To say that the, like, sexual reputation is kind of unearned, I mean, is it?
It's inescapably in the DNA of the fandom.
Right down to the fucking hidden shameful mouse drawings in a Japanese man's desk drawer from 1965.
We're not saying, and you can't say, oh, if you're a furry, you like this stuff, fine. But I'd imagine a lot of them do. Probably even most of them, to some extent. If you're so fixated on your fursona and building this costume and everything else, and as a human, you're a sexual being, what do you think about having sex with?
I like the idea of Sister of Battle boobies. Smoking gun.
Why not?
That's a smoking gun, Don.
I don't think you're a weird guy, Tom.
Thank you.
In response to these unfair accusations, furry conventions instituted strict media policies, requiring press to be supervised and to respect attendees' privacy to avoid misrepresentation. Okay, to respect not observing them go to hotel rooms and have orgies. And again, it's like, fine, you know? Like, no one's telling you to stop. It's just, let's call a spade a spade.
That's probably a different term you could use.
Fandom leaders like Anthrocon's chairman, Dr. Samuel Uncle Cage Conway.
Oh, how did he get the nickname Uncle Cage? That's a bit much.
Dr. Samuel.
Wow, yeah, Dr. Samuel.
What is he a doctor of?
Fucking veterinarian. Oh, that was good. That got you.
Yeah,
they like animals, they do. Why is he called Uncle Cage? That's such a fucking red flag of a name. He's known for his storytelling. That's what you want in a doctor. Someone known for their storytelling.
Ooh, let's see the fursuit.
Lesser known to the fandom is the fact that Uncle Cage used to wear the fursuit of artist Terry Smith's character Chester Ringtail incognito in early 2000s. See, even this motherfucker's ashamed of it. He knows.
The chairman of Anthrocon, Uncle Cage, even held training panels on how furries should talk to journalists, emphasizing professionalism to combat negative stereotypes. Over time, this proactive PR, along with sucking up to the general populace with charity work, somewhat helped their reputation.
That feels a bit unfair. How you sucking up to the populace without charity, huh?
Oh, you
faker.
Bunch of pedos pretending.
Pretending to be kind. Building like wells in Africa or something. Yeah, nice try, dude. You're not pulling the wool over my eyes. The furry community has also faced internal controversies that shaped its culture. The Burned Furs movement emerged in the late 1990s, aiming to purge deviant elements from the furry fandom, publishing a manifesto criticizing adult content. This sparked a 3-year forum war, ultimately collapsing as most furries rejected the movement as divisive, but not before internalizing some lessons along the way. I'm fascinated to hear what lessons they internalized.
Yeah, were they like an autistic Christian furry group?
Furries for Christ would go so fucking hard. It's like Christian metal. It's just got that stink to it. You're like, oh, come on, guys.
Did they practice abstinence?
Oh, you were right!
Christian furs.
Christian furs! God damn, we're good done.
And they were intolerant of the gays.
Of course they were. Oh, my days.
Get out, gays.
Christian furs only.
Being a furry isn't about being gay.
It's about Jesus. I love this, dude. This is colorful.
God bless. And they failed. What a tragedy.
Some might consider this the 14th Crusade.
We salute you for trying.
Oh, look at that shield.
Crest.
You know what? The world is a fun place.
By the early 2000s, there was a conscious push to foster a more positive, welcoming atmosphere in furry circles, becoming more openly accepting of different lifestyles and adopting an informal live and let live ethos, so long as everyone behaved responsibly.
That's ironic. Furry identity and creative culture. As the fandom entered the 21st century, having a fursona became almost universal. Surveys by researchers show that most furry fans have created one or more fursonas as their personal characters. They also became a convenient way to broadcast your identity, from online profiles to conventional badges.
Yes, this is what I was talking about. I think you get like prolific furries like on YouTube and stuff, and then yeah, they're like literally celebrities at the conventions.
If you think about this from an evolutionary perspective, it's so interesting. You can hide your genetic abnormalities and build like enough of a cache of celebrity to overcome how fucking weird you are.
Plus, it's a smaller pool of people to overcome. I can't become a human celebrity, but there's only however many million furries.
It's very big fish, small pond.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is just smart gene spreading.
I think that fursuit we bought for videos, whatever, was like a ripoff of a famous furry, and I saw them complaining about how we ripped off her look.
The goal to think we would have enough furry lore knowledge to like purposefully rip off someone's stupid fucking fursona.
In addition to fursonas, the furry identity is inseparable from their art. Early fans drew and traded art for enjoyment, but by the 2000s, commissioning custom illustrations, fursuit parts, stories, and comics became common. Commissioning art is now the sole income for many artists within the fandom. At conventions, art show auctions can fetch high prices. Famously, a single painting sold for $10,000. Fucking hell, let's see it.
No. Barely even a furry. Wow. Oh, look, he's wearing little armbands. God, that's so hot. Fuck.
Who bought it?
Fucking Uncle Cage.
Could have been.
Don't let me out.
Eyes of the Night by the artist Golden Wolf. Good for you.
Dude, it looks like a black metal painting.
$10,000. The willingness to invest financially in art and creations has made the furry fandom a unique patronage-driven subculture, where artists can squeeze these fur bags for every dollar they have.
Fur bags. Good job, producer. Modern fandom, social media, and global presence. In the 2010s and beyond, furries embraced social media and new tech platforms, which vastly expanded their reach and visibility. Social media and chat apps such as Twitter, TikTok, Telegram, and Discord, I bet fucking Telegram, were quickly taken over by a flood of furries. These modern platforms have made the furry fandom more connected globally than ever, and unfortunately, more visible to the rest of us.
Indeed. You know, I feel like the furry fervor has,
No, you don't get that one.
Aw. There's so much more connection and noise a single person can make, but I also feel like furries aren't especially prolific right now.
Yeah, I feel like if we made another furry cartoon right now, it would feel like beating a dead horse.
A little bit.
Not that I wouldn't do it anyway.
I might do it.
The numbers speak for themselves.
Might actually do it. Demographics. Over time, it wasn't just the furries' technology that changed, but also their demographics. While the furry community in the 1980s to 90s primarily consisted of adults in their late 20s or 30s, today it skews younger, with about half of fans under 20. Yet the gender split remains uneven, with 70 to 80% male.
You know those women at those conventions are getting hunted like prey. Do you know what I mean? Do you think like China is bad? 80% male.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts. So they're all fighting for 20%.
And you know a bunch of the female furries aren't female either. Like I was saying, the ones walking around with massive tits.
Dude, it truly is like a lucky dip. You don't really know what you're gonna get until you take off the bottom half.
Or you just don't. You just go for the porthole under the tail. Through your mascot eyes, you see a female bunny rabbit.
It really recontextualizes the whole becoming a celebrity in the furry community. Because you know those guys, the celebrities, are taking about 15% of that remaining female market. So you've got 80% of the male furries fighting over 5% of the female furries. That's insane.
And you gotta find them.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
I mean, obviously this also speaks to the hypersexualization of the whole thing.
Because it's mostly men.
It's mostly men, but you have so much furry porn. And so many customized fursuits with giant tits walking around.
You know what else is probably like 90% men?
It's probably more than that.
Fuck.
And the fandom boasts a high proportion of LGBTQ+ members, with approximately 70% identifying as gay or bisexual, significantly higher than the general population.
And so the Third Reich continues to expand, unstoppable and ever degenerate. The Third Reich. I get it. That's good.
Isn't there a cool furry neo-Nazi contingency too?
What?
Yeah, there's furry neo-Nazis, and they were like a big problem, I think, in the community. It's awesome.
Why is it awesome, Dom?
It's like, because it's fucking hilarious. It's like a fursuit guy with a fucking armband.
Look at them! Don't they even look scary?
Does the furry community have a Nazi? You know, that is an uncanny, scary-looking furry.
Right? That is so funny. Do you think they ordered their fursuits to be as intimidating as possible on purpose?
And it's not a swastika. It's a
paw.
It's a little paw.
That's cute.
Some say the furries fandom is just harmless fun, a creative outlet like any other, and that for no other reason than being who they are, they're being unfairly fursecuted.
Read what comes next.
Well, I beg to differ.
The Third Reich, I beg to differ, persecuted. Incredible scenes. Beneath their heavy masks and sweaty costumes are flesh bags of hormones, wondering why they're ostracized so much while beating off to Star Fox. If you find yourself needing to forget about all that and you prefer a masculine autistic fantasy universe, check out our video on getting into Warhammer. Well, I hope you enjoyed our video explaining the origins of furdom. Have a good week.
And click on the video link.
And click on the video.
Click on that. Thank you.
Fur out, dude.